World Trade Center Symphony of Destruction. Music is built on repetition. Repetition is the ideal tool for instilling and implanting subliminal hypnotic suggestion. Repetition, coupled with the state of paranoia, leads to an altered state of consciousness and an illusion-based reality. The following two diagrams immediately below demonstrate the musical suggestion built into the World Trade Center Twin Towers. The inspiration for music in the three-dimensional experience goes back to the 9 muses, the 9 water nymphs of the god Apollo. Apollo was the son of Zeus, the chief god of Olympus. Apollo equals Apollo equals Apol, World Trade Center, music score. For newcomers to the information on this blog site, who may not be familiar with the symbolism uncovered and demonstrated on this site, here are a few meanings set forth to help you make sense out of the chart immediately below. This site shows what the numbers, words, symbols and sounds of the 3D illusory reality really mean, and the number 8 symbolizes total control. The major music scales has 8 octaves, and the piano has 88 keys. This is similar to the subliminal suggestion implanted with the mythological star god fables, related to us through the 88 constellations all arranged in 8 groups. Yet again, the Beijing Olympics in the year 2008, which is also symbolically 88, on a 24-hour clock, occurred on 08/08/88 and started at 8:08 and 8 seconds. The Sichuan earthquake hit 88 days before the games began, with a total of 88,000 dead and missing. A record number of 8 gold medals was won by swimmer Michael Phelps. These are just a few of the number 8 subliminals implanted to bring about the reality, the illusory reality, that we are now witnessing. With this in mind, consider the symbolism in the chart immediately below, keeping in mind that it's the sounds, the shapes, and colors of words or symbols that form the hypnotic suggestion and sinister misdirection of our conscious experience, not the actually literal meaning of the word alone. When this is coupled with such things as music or other sound effects, the resulting manipulation is guaranteed and appears real. Music score 8820, B and G columns of Solomon's Temple, the treble clef 5-line music staff. The top 5 lines of the grand staff includes the treble clef symbol. This symbol is a stylized golden mean suggests the shape of the number 8 and the infinity symbol. The little curl that circles the second line from the bottom of the treble clef is the G note. This G note lends its name to this staff, and is called the treble, or G, clef. This is hidden symbolism referring to the G, or J column, symbolic of the south pillar of the Hebrew temple. This letter G stands for Gikon, or Jikin, and in Hebrew, this sound is substituted for Y, as in Yod. This south pillar was symbolized in the south tower of the WTC. The bass clef are the lower 5 lines of the grand staff. The bass clef has a golden mean that encircles the second line from the top, or the F note. This staff is then referred to as the bass clef or the F clef. This time the symbolism referring to the WTC tower comes from the name bass clef, or the B tower column. This refers to the north pillar of the Hebrew temple named Boaz. These 2 staff lines form the grand staff, yet another G name, which are divided into bars, another B name. The WTC towers are also divided into bars, albeit hidden from view as floors dedicated to electrical, utility, or service floors of some nature or another. The bar lines on the WTC towers are clearly visible. The word bar is also a subliminal that refers to the sacrifice, Baphomet, the ram. Bar is a reference to Ra, the sun god. Again, a suggestion of the father rabbi, or rabbi. All these suggestions are included in the subliminals built within the grand staff and which apply to the WTC design. The golden mean is based on the Fibonacci number series, and therefore music is also based on the Fibonacci number series, as is light, shape and color. Fucking, music and romance, the F and G clefs, of the grand scale, in the key of major C, include the middle C as the space between the 2 5-line staffs. The name of the Luciferian god, as we've seen on previous pages, is Fuck, based on the names of the pyramids of Egypt, Khufu, Kaffa and Menkaure. The name Khufu being the main inspiration for the name. Khufu equals you fuck in reverse, or you fuck, as in the sacrifice of the regeneration process, which was initiated with the thought process. A music score, in the key of C, has the letter C in between the F and G clefs. The word fucking is also spelled with the same relationship. Only now the K is added, being the 11th letter of the alphabet, the number of death. The letter C suggests C, as in the Ma, or C, or OCN, or Ocean. This inclusion of the F, C, and G situated in this manner, establishes the relationship between music, sex, and romance, or love, with love being nothing more than sexual lust. The word love equals evil in reverse. E-volume equals volume, the abbreviation for volume. Volume equals volt or electrical measurement, which is emotional measurement. Volume equals volcano or passion, heat, and eruption. Volume equals voluminous or consisting of many volumes. Volume equals volume of loudness. Volume equals volatile as in fickle character, something that evaporates quickly. Volume equals voluptuous as full of sensual delight. Volume equals volume luminous as in shining bright light, the inspiration for the enlightened ones, the Illuminati. All these words define different characteristics connected with the concept of love. The word love is music, is the golden mean, is the Fibonacci number series, is the trance-inducement swirl on the grand staff, and is what's literally fucking with our minds. This is why music is so pervasive in our society, so all-encompassing, so embedded within the social fabric of the world. Music is the Apollo muses at work, controlling everything down to the musical notes you hear and the colors and shapes we see. This is how hypnotic suggestion penetrates our illusory physical being, which in turn disconnects us from reality through seduction. The golden mean is the number 9. With this in mind, consider the chart below, and see the symbolism of music and the golden mean of hypnotic control built into the holy towers of the WTC, with their bars highlighted. The golden mean is the shape of the number 9, and with the B and G names linking music with the golden mean, the number 9 is thereby linked to the WTC towers and demonstrating how they symbolized 9 and 11. The shape of the towers forms an 11, and the musical characteristic symbolizes a 9. This is all based on the Hebrew pillars outside of Solomon's temple. The two towers symbolize the duality nature of the Luciferian thinkers, Boaz, or Ba, the sacrifice and life taker, and Gacon, or Gaia, the earth, the giver of life, the generative letter of life. Interestingly, Building 7 was called the Salomon Brothers Building. The WTC complex was owned by Larry Silverstein, a Jewish business tycoon. The first day of creation on the Hebrew calendar is September 11th, or 911. On September 11th, 2001, the Israeli offices were closed in the WTC complex, as the employees were told not to come into to work on that Tuesday morning. Tuesday equals Zeus, an Old English god, or Zeus, or Zeti or Zeti, who is Zeus, the chief Greek god of Mount Olympus, and day equals deity. 911 is also the first day of creation on the Egyptian Coptic calendar. The Greek, Hebrew and Egyptian mythological gods are all one huge hypnotic subliminal, along with the gods of Rome and those of Babylon and Sumer. All linked together, symbolically, and now exposed, through the symbolism in the terror they produce through the systems perpetuated by the elite of the world. Apollo muses water nymphs, the bridge to nowhere, except maybe the Emerald City. Music, which is harmonically programmed sound, has been mathematically constructed to coincide with the sacred geometry of color and shape that form the basis all of the intellectual systems of religion and science. The chart immediately below demonstrates the extent to which the mathematics of music have been incorporated into the whole 3D world system to assist in establishing our reality, which is for most, one of servitude and despair. The hypnotic trance-induced state that forms the illusory world we're experiencing has used the power of the muses of Apollo to disconnect us from our original state of wisdom. As the Caesars have been quoted as saying, "Give them bread and circuses, and you can control them asses." The World Trade Center Twin Towers formed the number 11 outwardly. However, inwardly, they were filled with the inspiration and the water of the 9 nymphs that would seduce the world even further into the illusory trance state. The water in these towers fell on the Marriott Hotel, the Ma, located as the C in the middle. This suggestion has been implanted with the C major scale throughout the last few centuries. Middle C rests between the G treble clef and the F bass clef. These are once again 2B and G terms. The musical suggestion hidden within the symbolism of the World Trade Center has been projected yet again towards the Pacific Ocean. This acts as a bridge, a musical bridge, that will connect the South Tower of Australia to the North Tower of the 11 Western United States. The Salt Sea, the Pacific Ocean, acts as the middle C on this music staff of sinister hypnotic misdirection. IDAHO, music staff of Australia and 11 Western states. The chart immediately below shows a close-up of some of the significant border points that coincide with lines drawn in the form of a music staff shown on the chart immediately above. The initial line was drawn from the center of the octagon at the Wyoming border. It then extends through the area of Lake Tahoe, which is the shape and symbolic type of the Sea of Galilee. The line then extends through Sacramento, San Francisco, and on past the Big Island of Hawaii, and straight to the equator and international date line. The next line extends from the Eye of Montana, thanks to Chris for helping see this one, and another similar eye of Idaho, crossing at the southwest border of Oregon, right at the location of the seismic fault line and Crescent City. This coincides with the location that the Big Dipper crosses into the area of Northern California, demonstrated on previous charts on page 30. This line then extends south to the northern main island of Hawaii called Kauai. It then continues to cross the IDL and the equator and into the region around the Solomon Islands. The northernmost line crosses right through the area of Seattle and Mount Olympus, Washington. The line immediately below the equator line extends through San Diego, Las Vegas, the Four Corners Cross and on through the junction of Kansas and Colorado. The southernmost line extends through the foot of the Four Corners Cross. 5. Sacrifice. The degrees used to chart the western 11 states are broken into groups of 5. The number 5 is symbolizing sacrifice. From Southern California at 32 degrees to Four Corners Cross, there are 5 degrees. From Four Corners to Northern California at 42 degrees, another 5 is added. Yet another 5 degrees takes us to Mount Olympus and Seattle at 47 degrees. This totals 15 degrees, or the number of the deity. Then, adding 2 more degrees, takes us to the Canadian border, totaling 17, which also coincides with 5 on the second clock face. The Canadian border is located at 49 degrees, which coincides with 1 on the fifth clock face. All numbers have a strong relationship to 5, and to sacrifice. Muses of Apollo, exactly 50 years before 9/11, Kansas, Oz, exactly 50 years to the day, before the 9/11 attack on the WTC, the countries of Australia, New Zealand and the United States entered into a military alliance called ANZUS. This was signed on September 1, 1951. This is 11 days short of being exactly 50 years prior to 911. However, when you add in 11 leap days, the day of signing this treaty is exactly 50 years. The acronym ANZUS is a subliminal for the name of the state of Kansas, which includes the name of the Luciferian egregore chief god of Mount Olympus, called Zeus. ANZUS equals Kanzeus. The name Zeus suggests Zu, which in reverse is Zeus, or Oz. This little play on words establishes the hypnotic manipulation required to effectively push the control buttons of our reality. The ANZUS Treaty shows that the World Trade Center attack was in the final leg of its long illusory journey since the first creation day of 9/11, the first day of this conjured-up creation according to the Hebrew calendar. The trance control of our paradise state was the purpose of this treaty, which was then linked to the 1900 children's novel, The Wizard of Oz. The year 1900 signaled the start of the 20th century, with 20 being a number of total control, the century to take control of our original state, once and for all, by the Luciferian thinkers. By 1939, the movie, Wizard of Oz, distributed by MGM, Mother IAM, and their symbolic line, ran for 101 minutes in length. 101 coincides with 5 on the ninth clock face. Sacrifice and fall. The year 1939 to 19 coincides with 7 perfection and completion, and 39 coincides 3, the pyramid deity shape. The actors in this movie include Judy Garland, a J and G name who played Dorothy Gale, another J name. Ray Bolger played the Scarecrow, a B and J name, alongside the name of Ra or Ra, the Egyptian sun god. Jack Haley played the Tin Man, a J name, and symbolic of the Jack or son of sacrifice, as in Jack and Orjikan. Burt Lahr played the Cowardly Lion, another B name and a reference to Allah, and Ra sun god and the lion's lair. Billy Burke played Glinda, another BB and G sequence. The Good Witch of the North, or in this case, the Throne. Margaret Hamilton played the Wicked Witch of the West, or WWW, which is symbolic of 666, or the Web of Deceit, as in the World Wide Web. Ma equals C. Ga equals Ray. Frank Morgan played the Wizard. Frank alludes to the father and son, the killing eye. Morgan equals Mother Organ, or the womb of the mother, the sea. All these names have strong pillar names, which in turn are the water towers, or columns of sacrifice. Remember, this is just hypnotic suggestion. It has no basis in truth, but it has been used to create the illusory reality of the world as we recognize it today. Removing this illusory death experience simply requires a reconnection to wisdom, through awareness of what is transpiring, and the reality and freedom we are able to reclaim is of our original paradise state. Zeus, Kansas, the Golden Mean Rock of Judgment. The Golden Mean is linked to the WTC towers in respect to the music grand staff and the bass and G clef names, which represent the B and G pillars. The chart below now shows how the Golden Mean is the rock that the dear Lord would build his church upon. With a little stretching of the mean, The curve centers around Yellowstone National Park. Yellowstone equals holy in reverse equals holy stone. This is the rock of judgment that the righteousness of the Lord, or the righteous judgment, will come down from as a mighty stream. The chart immediately below indicates the direction that this judgment will take. It starts at Yellowstone, then curves towards South Dakota and the Black Hills on the right, so that Presidents Roosevelt, Lincoln, Jefferson and Washington can watch it all happen from Mount Rushmore. Then the curve extends up to the Canadian border, before passing through the seismic region of Seattle, the Emerald City, and Mount Olympus, then down the west coast of North America to San Francisco and Los Angeles. Notice also that the large box of the Fibonacci number system covers the whole lower states of California, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico and Arizona and the southern portion of Wyoming in the area called Flaming Gorge National Rec. Area, Sweetwater, Rock Springs, Green River and Lincoln County. The northern borders of California, Nevada and Utah line up exactly with the border of the large black box in the lower half of the golden mean symbol. Golden mean rock, love to be mean, the hypnotic mean of seduction. In the trance state, the beauty and seduction of the golden mean is no more evident than in the beauty of the woman. As well, many of our basic symbolic shapes relating to sexual love and sensuality are formed from manipulating this hypnotic shape. The chart below just illustrates a few, and with a little imagination, the list is endless.
Everybody knows that you cradle the sun.